I welcome you all to the session of hydraulic machines, and today we will be discussing about the system resistance curve, and then we will see that if we try to superimpose the system resistance curve on the H cube curve, that is what we have discussed in the last class, then from there we can specify the operating point of the pump. Okay. So, before I start discussing on the system resistance curve, let us briefly recapitulate whatever we have discussed in the last class, and from there today we will try to draw the H cube curve. So, I mean if we try to write that H cube curve. So, this is an important curve for the radial flow pump operation. In fact, this H cube curve, that is what I have discussed in the last class, that it is known as operating characteristic curve. In addition to these two quantities, there is another important quantity which is known as specific speed for the pump. In fact, these three quantities I am writing over here, that H cube and Ns. So, important quantities, H which is head that will be developed by the pump, cube that is the discharge, and Ns that is the specific speed. So, these three quantities are very important for a particular pump. In fact, knowing the value of these three quantities, we can specify that which type of a pump will be suitable for any particular operation. Okay. Now, if we try to recall, in the last class we have discussed about the head developed by the pump. And just again I am not going to draw the full schematic depiction, but at least so this pump is taking water from a reservoir, okay, and it is discharging. And if we try to recall that there are two pressure gauges, one is at the suction side of the pump and another one is connected to the delivery line of the pump, and from these two pressure gauges we measure the suction pressure and the delivery pressure, and probably that part we have discussed in the last class. What is most important to know at this class is that this H can be written Hs plus Hd minus Vs square minus Vd square by 2g, right. So, that is what we have derived in the last class, and this part, this is the suction gauge reading. I am writing again suction gauge reading, this is the delivery gauge reading, and this fellow is head developed due to change in flow velocity. Okay. So, that is what we have discussed in the last class. Now, see this suction gauge reading Hs, that is basically if I write Hs is equal to Hs plus Hfs plus V square by 2g, and what about Hd, that is Hd plus Hdf. Okay. So, this is what we have discussed in the last class. This Hs and Hd are the height of the suction side suctional pipeline and delivery pipeline from the pump datum. What is the impeller axis is the pump datum, again I am telling. So, for the operation of a radial flow pump, pump datum is nothing but the axis of the impeller. So, the Hs and Hd, these two are the heights of the suction pipeline from the pump datum, and the delivery point or the suction point from the pump axis and the delivery point from the pump axis. HSF and HDF, those are the frictional losses in the suction pipeline and delivery pipeline respectively. V square by 2g, that is the kinetic head while liquid is flowing through the suction pipeline. Okay. So, question is what we can see from this particular expression is that I will be discussing this part again when I will be discussing about the testing of a radial flow pump, but at least today we should know that when pump is run, there are, it is not the case that pump can be started anytime. So, there are a few issues which should be maintained properly before pump is started for the operation, and that is why in most of the pumping station pump operators are there. Okay. Now, when pump is started for its operation, delivery valve remain fully closed, right, that is the most important point, someone should be careful before starting the pump. So, delivery valve will remain fully closed, and that is what the pump testing is done. So, basically why we need to do pump testing, because today our objective would be to see the characteristic curve of the pump. So, that is the pump own characteristic curve, the HQ curve, that is what I have written over here, that is the pump own characteristic curve, that is there is the individual characteristics of a pump. System resistance we will again try to understand, that is the system characteristic. So, that can be tuned by definitely altering the pipe piping configuration and also the pipe geometry, but the pump individual characteristics, that is HQ characteristics, that is what we should discuss today. So, when pump is, by how we get it? So, basically to obtain the HQ characteristics of a pump, we need to do experiments, otherwise we cannot get it. So, when experiment is done, that is known as testing of a radial flow pump, delivery valve remain fully closed before it is started, and then pump is started, and while pump is started delivery valve is open gradually, right. Suction side it is fine. So, suction valve, there will be valve both, I mean a suction valve at the suction side and delivery valve in the delivery pipeline. These two valves should not remain open when pump is started, delivery valves will remain closed while the suction valve will remain open. So, when pump is started, delivery valve also will be opened gradually, not suddenly, and then from the reading between the suction and delivery pressure gauge, that is what, if we try to recall in the last lecture we have shown from the schematic depiction, we will try to note down the pressure reading. What you can see that when pump is just started, delivery valve is remaining closed, right. If delivery valve is remaining closed, you can see there is no flow, right. So, this Vs and Vd, I mean if I now use different color to rather if I just write this Vs and Vd, these are the velocities of flow, and then flow velocities at the suction and delivery side, right. So, when delivery valve is remaining closed, there is no point of having flow velocity in the delivery pipeline, right. So, Vd will be 0, that is what we can see. Now, question is pump is running just at the starting moment, pump is running, but there is no flow rate through the pump. So, Q is 0. So, now if we try to draw the H cube curve. So, again I am writing head discharge curve. Okay. So, if I try to draw this, so this is Q, this is H. So, this is meter and this is meter cube per second. Okay. And if I just draw the schematic, okay. So, when pump is just started, there will be valve, that is, if I now take different color, that there will be valve, these two valves are there, one is at the suction side. So, this is suction valve, this is delivery valve. Okay. Now, delivery valve is remaining fully closed. So, there is no flow through the delivery pipeline. Now, if I go to the previous slide wherein I have written the net head developed by the pump. So, there is no flow, then V d will be equal to 0, right, but there is definitely through the, I mean when pump is running, there is no flow through the delivery pipeline, there is no flow through the delivery pipeline, but suction valve is remaining fully open. So, definitely there will be flow of liquid from this reservoir to the pump inlet, right. So, Vs will not be 0, right, that means Vd equal to 0, Vs is not equal to 0, but when Q is equal to 0, at least what we can see that Hs plus Hd minus Vs square 2g, that is a constant value, right. So, if I now try to write here that when Q equal to 0, that is this point, Q equal to 0, this will be constant. So, that say this is H I. So, when pump is started, there is no discharge from the pumping station and the head corresponds to that discharge, that is Q equal to 0 is the H I, and that is known as shut off head. So, this H I, or I can write this H S. So, this H S is the shut off head, this is shut off head, right. If we keep on increasing, rather if we gradually open now the delivery valve, that is what I was talking about. So, if I now go to the rather from this slide, if I now open the delivery valve gradually, there will be flow of fluid through the delivery pipeline, and then in that case we will have a finite value of Vd, right. But you can see this fellow will be positive, definitely this quantity will be less. So, I mean we will get the curve like this, right, and this is the pump own characteristic. So, if we keep on increasing flow rate, the total head that will be developed by the pump will reduce. Definitely, because see when there will be flow rate, then frictional losses will be there in the delivery side, frictional losses will be there in the suction side. So, even the frictional losses will be there in the suction side, that is fine, but ultimately the head that will be developed by the pump is important at the delivery line only, because we are not having that much botheration at this point of time what is the head available at the suction side, but that is again important aspect that I will be discussing when I will discuss about the net positive suction head, fine. But for the time being, at least the head that will be developed by the pump will be reflected here, that is at the delivery pressure, delivery line, because their pressure is very high, and that is what the objective of this pumping station is. Okay. Now, if we increase the rather if we gradually open the delivery valve, and at a time when delivery valve will be open fully, then because of this flow rate there will be frictional losses which will consume a part of the head that is being developed by the pump, and as a result of which it will have a continuously drooping characteristic. Okay. So, again I am telling that this this characteristics, this nature of the curve is obtained from this particular equation. Now, when the valve is delivery valve is fully open, because of this high flow rate and flow velocity, frictional loss, the frictional losses will be very high, which will definitely, I mean this is basically parasitic loss. So, as if to overcome that frictional effect, the net head that is being developed by the pump will be used. So, a part of that head will be consumed to overcome the frictional losses that is there in the delivery pipeline, and as a result of which it will have. So, that is justified, because now H, that is the head. If I now talk about, just I can take an example, if you have studied in fluid mechanics, that P by gamma plus V square by 2G plus Z equal to constant, right. In this equation, this first term is known as pressure head, that is what in fact I have discussed in the last class. Then this is the velocity head. See, this is velocity, how come head is coming in this picture? Because the unit of this quantity is basically meter. So, you can see, because all this is Z, unit is meter, V square by 2G, if you just try to calculate the dimension, then again it will come as meter. So, basically that is why it is known as velocity, but the head is coming from the fact that the unit is meter, head, right. Similarly, pressure, but again head, that is why the pressure head, velocity head, these terms are used. Okay. Now, this is basically total energy which is constant at any point, at any cross section, right. Now, question is, if we, so pressure whenever we are getting in the delivery line, if we just take different points here, here. So, if we now go from one point to the other point, rather different cross section, if I take this cross section, if I take this cross section. So, the pressure that is developed by the pump will be there at, say this is cross section A, this is cross section B. So, now head that will be available, the total head from this equation, head that will be available at section A is not equal to the head available at section B. Why? Because it is because of the frictional losses. Fine. Now, question is, so if we keep on increasing head, if we keep on increasing discharge, then the head that will be delivered by the pump will be less, and that is because of the frictional losses and other different other losses that will be there. So, that is known as drooping characteristics. But what is most important here that I would like to discuss now, that see, at this suction side there will be losses. So, now if I take, say this is the suction pipeline. So, if I take this pump like this and suction pipeline is like this, right. Rather, if I erase it, I will draw right. So, you can see that the suction pipeline diameter is reducing towards the pump inlet, right. So, that part I will be discussing. Question is, in this particular arrangement, that is also known as the pump operation at the negative suction condition. Why negative suction? Because if you try to recall, in the last class we have discussed about that the pressure head that is available at the suction side, that is the vacuum pressure, negative pressure. So, this is known as negative suction operation. So, pump is drawing water from a reservoir. It is not the case that the pump axis, that pump datum is well below the water level of the reservoir, this suction reservoir, right. It is not the case, rather it is reverse. So, basically datum is pump datum is Hs distance above from the water level of the reservoir. Okay. Now, when pump is started and then here atmospheric pressure is acting, and that atmospheric pressure minus the pressure which is available at this inlet to the pump is the driving force, and that driving force is responsible to make the flow occur from this point to the pump inlet. So, basically this is P ATM and here we are having P suction. Now, this P ATM minus P suction, that is the driving force, rather driving pressure gradient, driving pressure to make the flow occur from point 1 to the pump inlet, that is inlet to the pump, say it is S. Okay. Now, you see when fluid is flowing through the pipeline, rather this is suction pipeline, this is suction line, there will be losses, that is known as separation loss. So, basically that pressure is here atmospheric pressure, that pressure is higher than the suction pressure. So, when fluid particles are moving, fluid is moving from point 1 towards point S, in the direction of flow pressure reduces, right. But it is not the case, I mean this is fine. Question is pressure is pressure reduces, but here the liquid is allowed to flow through a pipeline. So, definitely the liquid will be in contact with the boundary, as a result of which there will be kind of frictional losses and flow velocity will be highly non-uniform in the suction side. And because of this, say if I take this particular cross section and maybe velocity here is less and velocity here is high and this is less. So, and because of this a kind of recirculation eddies will form in this suction pipeline. So, because of the non-uniform velocity distribution, that is highly possible because the fluid particles are in contact with the solid surface. So, viscous effect will be there. So, the non-uniform velocity distribution will lead to a situation wherein vortices will form, and that is the recirculation. So, basically these losses are known as recirculation loss. So, because of this recirculation loss, the shut-off head will not be here, shut-off head will be slightly less than what is shown in this diagram. So, shut-off head will be here, right. So, if I now give name, this point is O, this point is A and this point is B. Ideally, we have seen that when there is no flow through the delivery line, the shut-off head is Hs, that is OA, but because of the what I can say separation losses, because of this non-uniform velocity distribution in the pump suction line, and this is the atmospheric pressure and this is this suction pressure. So, this is the driving force which will allow the liquid to flow from point 1 to S. So, if any resistance is there, because of this resistance fluid particle might have kind of a reverse motion. So, basically velocity is highly non-uniform. So, to take that effect, rather that is there in real life. So, there will be recirculation losses in the suction pipeline. Because of this recirculation losses, the shut-off head will be reduced to the extent A prime, right. So, now the shut-off head, new shut-off head will be OA prime, and then it will be, the curve will be like this, and this loss, I mean if I now try to draw the new curve will follow the original curve, again there will be some kind of losses. So, if I take red color, Okay. So, you can see that at the suction side this loss is due to the separation loss because of this formation of eddies recirculation, and also in the delivery pipeline there will be recirculation loss. So, when delivery valve, if you try to recall the delivery valve, it is not the case that the delivery valve will remain fully open always depending upon the requirement. So, when we try to control the opening area of the delivery pipeline by adjusting the delivery valve needle, then that is as if it is creating blockage, and because of this blockage there will be separation loss, and because of this separation loss again separation and recirculation loss will be there in the delivery site. So, this is basically loss at the suction site and this is loss at the delivery pipeline. Though the ideal head characteristics curve is like this is ideal one, but the actual H cube curve would be what is shown by the green color, right. So, to explain this I have taken this example. So, actually the H cube curve will look like by this curve which is shown in green color, while the ideal one is definitely the red color. So, you can see that when we use a particular pump for doing a stated purpose, that is to lift water from one place to the other place and against a particular head, definitely you can see that there will be losses at the suction line. Also because of the fact that the delivery valve is not fully open always, and that will be definitely done by the operator to control the flow rate depending upon the requirement at site. So, that opening and closing of the delivery valve by the needle, valve needle, it will create blockage to the flow path, and that will again lead to the this kind of separation losses. So, this is the we can see that there are losses both at the suction line and the delivery line, and to take those losses into account, I mean if we try to draw the actual H cube curve taking the losses into account, losses means losses both at the suction side and the delivery side, then the actual curve will be like this. Okay. One important point is that we have seen that it is quite possible that rather I can say this is really there in the real system rather in physical system, that flow velocity is highly non-uniform in the suction side line, that is there, but if we can somehow ensure that the flow velocity should be uniform at the suction line, then probably the losses due to formation of these eddies recirculation can be prevented at the suction line. That means, but why? Because this portion, I mean if we now look at this portion is not desirable at all for the, so this portion, this kind of curve, this nature is not desirable at all for the radial flow pump operation. Why? Let me discuss again. So, if I now take okay, that if I now take a particular pump H and cube and say the pumping the pump characteristics the pump own characteristics like this, right, and you can see that sort of head is definitely not the head which is equal to the top high. If we go back the previous slide, the sort of head is the maximum head when q is equal to 0, but you can see here sort of head is not the maximum head. So, if we now try to superimpose the system resistance curve on this, so then there will be an important aspect, that aspect I will be discussing, but for that at least we should know the system resistance curve. Okay. Okay. Now, that part in fact I will be discussing soon, that system resistance curve. So, what is system resistance curve? You can understand from the word system resistance. Again I am telling, if we have one pump here and that pump is taking water from a tank, and say this height is h s. If I erase it, right. So, say this height is h s, and that pump is supplying water to a point, and that point is h d distance away from the pump datum, right. So, this pump, say this pump is P 1, this pump P 1 is used to supply water to a location, say this is location, that delivery point is h d distance away from the pump datum, that is the impeller axis, from pump impeller axis, and the suction line from the suction point from where the pump is drawing water or any other liquid is h and h s distance below the pump datum, right. Now, question is, if we need to supply water here, that the total head here will be h requirement, h r e cube and q r e cube. So, these are the requirement, that at this delivery point, so if I give the point, so this is 1, this is 2. So, at the delivery point 2, the requirement is head is h r cube, but in fact I can write in capital H. So, if I erase it, so this is h, this is h, capital H, and this is q r cube. So, at point we need discharge and head, that is shown here, that is requirement. So, what will be the pump operating characteristics? You can see this is the pump own characteristic, and in this curve, if we try to superimpose the system resistance curve, then from there we will try to obtain the operating point. The head and discharge corresponding to that operating point, if they are equal to these two, then perhaps it is fine. If the operating point is such that the corresponding head and discharge, these two quantities are unable to reach here, then definitely the design or selection of pumping station as well as pump is not correct. Okay. So, if we try to now then what is most important, because when you purchase pump from the market, that pump manufacturer will supply this H cube card. The pump designer who has designed the pump is having this curve, and the pump manufacturer will supply this. So, this is fixed because this is pump own characteristic. Now, what we need to do, I know that pump will be installed in this pumping station, we know the system. So, again the most important part is that the design engineer who will be designing this pumping system in such a way that the operating point, which is nothing but the when the system resistance curve will meet the pump own characteristic curve, and that point is the operating point, we will see soon now. Okay. So, if we try to find out what is H system, right. So, H requirement, that is what I need from this pump, this is H cube, that is pump own characteristic curve, but I need to find out what is H system. What is H system? H s plus H d. So, this H s plus H d, that is the total suction lift plus delivery lift, the total lift. So, H s plus H d, these two height, static height, that will be overcome by the pump itself, right. So, this H requirement will be definitely higher than this. Why? Because there will be again some losses, right. Losses means when the delivery of suction pipeline and delivery pipeline is there, as I was talking about, there will be valve both at the suction side and delivery side. So, when the fluid is flowing through the valve, definitely valves are not always fully open. So, there will be losses. Also there will be bends, different bends, and the frictional losses, pipe friction losses. So, all losses will be there. So, the total resistance is the, I mean when our objective is to bring liquid from point 1 to point 2 at, and not only at point 2, just it is not the case that just I will be taking liquid from 1 to 2, I will be definitely, the pump will be able to deliver liquid from 1 to 2 at a rate Q require, and head that will be available is H required, that is pressure definitely that will be available, that is H required. Okay. So, this is the system resistance curve, that is the total static height, and this is friction loss, right. So, frictional loss. Okay. So, this is the static loss, always there will be static loss to overcome the static height. So, right. So, this two fellow, that is known as static loss, that is always there irrespective of the type of pump, irrespective of the specification of the pump, always we need to overcome the static height if this is the system, right, and that is what is, and if we need to lift water from point 1 to 2, then this is the static loss always, and that frictional losses is known as dynamic loss. We do not have any control over the static loss if that is the system, this Hs and Hd will be always there, but what we can do, we can definitely control the dynamic loss, and that is why the word dynamic is coming into the picture. Why? Because see, dynamic loss, that is losses due to friction, separation, recirculation, so many that presence of valves, bends, but if we can design properly the system, if we can reduce a few bends in the pipeline, if we can design the piping system properly by selecting the pipe diameter, so that the loss due to the dynamic loss can be controlled. So, that is why it is known as dynamic loss. Anyway, so what is dynamic loss? So, this is the total static height, again I am telling this is static, this part is fixed, right. What is dynamic loss? We have studied from classical from fluid mechanics is that just if we consider the frictional losses, what is frictional losses? What is frictional loss? When fluid is flowing through the pipe, we know the Darcy-Weisbach equation, that is Hf equal to, I mean if we just write over here, if we write over here Hf equal to FL d FL by d v square by 2g, sorry, FL by d v square by 2g, right. F is the friction factor. Now, if it is laminar then fine, but in most of the cases flow is not laminar. So, we need to consult with the Moody's diagram to find out the friction factor, because if we know the roughness and if we can easily calculate by knowing the friction factor from the Moody's diagram, we know the length of the pipe and also diameter, and if we know that if my requirement is Q required, then definitely I can easily calculate what will be the velocity both at the suction and delivery line, fine. Now, you can see that if we try to write this quantity F L by d and 2g, these two are constant. So, basically this is nothing but k into q square, that k is constant. So, just I am trying to write as q is equal to area into velocity, and if I just take into all this constant in one place and I am writing if I club them together I am writing by k. So, this k is basically loss coefficient, fine. We also have seen that this k q square, the constant k will be different for the bends for different types of valves, whatever may be the types of whatever losses are there because of the bends and valves, ultimately that is k q square. So, if I now try to write this one, that this H system equal to this H static plus H dynamic, right. H static is Hs plus Hd. So, I am writing this H static if I write H static is equal to H s plus H d and H dynamic equal to K into Q square, okay. And then this H system equal to H static plus K into Q square, okay. So, this expression now if we try to write, if we try to draw this system resistance curve, rather if we try to superimpose this system resistance curve on the pump characteristics curve. So, this is the pump characteristic, okay. If we now try to superimpose this curve, so you can see this equation is just like so this is static plus K Q square. That means, if we shift as if this equation is just like a equation of a parabola, where the this is shifted over here, that is H system, H static, and the curve will be like this. So, this is the system resistance curve, right, H system. So, H static, if I shift this ordinate from this 0 to this H static, that is always static, plus this dynamic part will vary with Q like this, K into Q square, okay. That is parabola, equation of parabola. Now, this point that is where these two curves, where these two curves intersect each other, and that point is basically known as the operating point. So, this point is known as the operating point, okay. And as I told you that the head and discharge corresponding to this operating point is the, so this is Q required and this is H required, okay. The problem, that is what I wanted to discuss here, is that you can clearly see from this H cube curve, from this type of H cube curve, that is from the pump characteristic curve. See, if you try to obtain the H requirement, so the head corresponding to this operating point, that head will be delivered by the pump is, you can see, that is here. Now, you can easily find out whether that head is the required head or not. If that is fine, if that head is definitely is equal to the head, that is what is needed, then fine. Otherwise, again we need to go for the alteration of the pump, and alteration of the pump is not always advisable. So, having one pump is there in the pumping station, that pump might have installed a long back. Now, if we need modification, then definitely we need to modify the system resistance by altering the geometry, pipeline, all those things, okay. What I wanted to discuss here is that, see, this part, that the losses at the suction site, right. So, that is very important, that I was discussing about, that losses at the suction site is the separation loss. So, separation loss at the suction site, and because of this curve is not continuously drooping. So, if I now go to the next slide, here you can see that this is Q, this is H. Now, this is the curve, and I can take another case, that is case 2, this is Q and this is H. So, this is case 2 and this is case 1, okay. See, if the characteristic curve is like this. So, this is pump on, this is pump curve, and this is the system. System curve. You can see this is the operating point, Q operating, and this is H operating. See, it is not advisable because this is again higher than the shut off head, fine. So, pump cannot even, you can see the head is not obtainable from this pump, that is above the shut off head. Okay. Even if this is not the case, say we have one pumping characteristics like this. And system resistance curve is like this. So, this is Q operating, this is H operating, this is pump, and this is system. For this particular case, there is no any problem. You can easily see that the operating point, this is operating point, right. So, this operating point, that is head and discharge corresponding to the operating point, we can easily see, and not only that, this curve is most I can say desirable, and this is what is, that is, it is have continuously drooping characteristic, while if this is the case, then it is very difficult. Why? So, you see that the head which is fine, this head I mean you are getting from the pumping system, fine, there is no problem. Now, if this is system resistance curve H system, that is H static this is H static plus K into Q square, right. Now, the pump operator who will be operating the pump, he does not know the fluid mechanics. What he can do, the K constant and Q, so by he will try to adjust the needle of the delivery valve. By any chance, if he closes the delivery valve, then definitely Q will be less and Q will be reducing. So, if Q reduces and by any chance Q will, if Q will reduce, so it will come like this. So, cube operating nu. So, the operator maybe because of the less requirement, he has closes the delivery valve further. So, the curve will be steeper, you can see K Q square will be steeper, and then operating point will be shifting to this new position, right. If he further if the operator further closes the delivery line, then if it goes to here, then the operating point will be, if the operator in the operating point comes here, then because of this nature of this particular curve, operating point will come to quickly this point, because this is the lowest discharge. So, that means if the operator closes the valves slightly and then the operating point is coming from P to P1. If he further closes the valve by mistake and then operating point is coming to P2, that P2 you can see that is the maximum head. So, pump will always try to run in the low discharge. So, that point will shift very quickly to this point, that is P dash, and as if this operating point will be shifting between these 2 points P and P prime, because of this nature of this curve. So, you can see, so our idea was to run the pump at this point. Now, we are getting same head, right, we are getting same head, but discharge will be just now fluctuating between these 2 values, that is Q operating dash and Q operating, right. So, this is very detrimental from this pump operation of a radial flow pump. So, idea is, that means if we somehow, if because of malfunctioning of the valve, say operator closes the valve from original to the new position, and that is why the system resistance curve shifted and the new operating point is P1, and maybe a operator wanted to keep the needle at that location, but because of the malfunctioning of the valve the needle has pressed a little more, and as a result of which the new operating point is coming to P2. If it comes to P2, then the pump will always try to run at low discharge. So, that means the point will very quickly shift to this P1 prime, and as if now the pump is running between these 2 points, that is the head is same, head corresponding to this point and this point is same. So, as if the pump will be able to deliver the same head, but it will now giving kind of 2 discharge, that it will fluctuate between these 2 discharge, that is QOP prime and QOP, and that is very detrimental for the pump operation. To avoid that, this kind of, so basically to avoid that, this kind of characteristic of the radial flow pump is not desirable, and if we need to avoid this kind of, so initially it is showing increasing trend with Q and then further it is coming down. Instead, if we have this kind of characteristic curve, that is very much detrimental from the operational point of view, and that is what we can see from this description. So, this part is not desirable, that is why it is always desirable to have a continuously drooping characteristic, right. So, we need to have a continuously drooping characteristics, but at the same time we know that this part cannot be avoided fluid dynamically. So, losses, separation losses at the suction side will be there, and if that is there, curve will take a shape like this. If the curve takes a shape like this, we have seen because of the malfunctioning of the delivery valve or any mistake that may come from the pump operator, the valve pump operation may be like this, that it will be operating at a constant head, but it will be discharging to it will be delivering 2 different volume flow rates. So, basically as if the pump is fluctuating, pump is kind of between 2 volume flow rates. So, this is not desirable. So, if we need to avoid it, so we have understood that this part cannot be really avoided, because we have learned fluid mechanics, separation losses will be there at the suction side, but again this is not advisable to have a proper pump operation. So, that is why kinetic energy correction factor is there, again that is coming from the fluid dynamics. So, if we try to recall that in the suction line, the because of this non-uniform velocity distribution in the suction line, this separation losses are there, and that is mainly because of the non-uniform velocity distribution, and that will be there always. What is important? So, when pump designer is designing pump, he should take into account one important point, that is kinetic energy correction factor. So, by taking that kinetic energy correction factor, which will take care the uniformity of the velocity in the suction line, right. The velocity is not uniform at the suction line because of the different reason that we have learned from fluid mechanics, right. But if we now consider the kinetic energy correction factor, that can be used to maintain the uniform velocity of the suction line, so that the separation losses in the at the suction pipeline can be, I mean the effect that is expected from the separation losses can be minimized. If it can be minimized, then perhaps this type of this nature of the H cube curve can be prevented, and the pump manufacturer, pump designer can supply this kind of pump characteristic curve, so that the problem associated with this kind of operation can be prevented. So, we will now discuss what is the kinetic energy correction factor and when we need to consider those. In fact, we have learned all this part in the fluid mechanics, but again I will discuss, but that part I will be discussing in the next class. So, with this I stop my discussion here today. Thank you.